Hey, Key Innes, Key Creative Studio, Master Drawer Japan. Okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit different and a little bit silly, but maybe fun for you guys. I'm gonna draw the character Chun Li from the Capcom game Street Fighter Two, or the Street Fighter series anyway. Um, I thought I would draw this character because she's a very iconic kind of character. I usually don't do this kind of stuff. I'm not really into like drawing other people's characters so much, but this character is very iconic. And one of the things is most iconic about her are her are her legs. Everyone who's done some fan art of Chun Li, they always like accentuate over accentuate her legs, because actually even going far back as like Street Fighter 2, she was a little bit thick down there. So I think people find the musculature of her legs very appealing. And actually I want to break that down for you guys. Okay, so if you want to have fun like drawing this character, or like drawing any character, it's always really best like to learn your anatomy, learn anatomy, so that you'll have like the freedom to draw things, or to design things as you see them. Okay. Okay, so let me jump into it. Okay, so again, first things first. Okay. um get the gesture down. Now I gotta, oops, let me make sure I have enough room here. That's another thing, you guys should keep in mind, um, when you're drawing, right? Um, you want to make sure like you have, um, when you compose your pictures, right? You don't want to um, pretty much like box yourself in, you know. Um, box yourself in, essentially, like run out of run out of space, All right, so Chun Li usually does like some kind of fighting pose, kind of like this, right? And this sort of thing. Okay. Okay. So I want to get the basics of her um, volumes down first, right? So her legs here. I'm already kind of like making them big already, right? All right. She has a, I would assume she has a kind of a, not assume, I know she has a small waist. Okay. Okay. I hope this is, okay. All right. Okay. Shoulders. Okay. Arms. Okay. Okay. Just blocking it in right now, with just these very large forms here. Okay. And I'm gonna try not to make a big deal about like the rest of her, because really this is really the legs that I want to focus on for today. Okay. Okay. Breasts, kind of something like that. Okay. All right. This will do for that. And I'm going to do something a little bit different, which is I'm going to put in her head here a little bit earlier than I would normally. I mean, meaning like put more detail in here, because normally I would not. I wouldn't do that so early in the game, but considering that this is a special a special demo, I thought it would be only fair, you know, that I at least put that in first, so you have something to connect with in terms of a personality. Okay, and of course I'll clean it up a little bit later. Okay. Like that. Like that. Okay. Oops. You know, I was actually thinking of doing like a Control Z just now. I don't know if you guys ever had that situation, like where you're actually drawing and then you wanted to correct something. You thought about like correcting it with with a hot key. Okay. All right. So something like this. Okay. Chun Li is basically something like that. Make that a little bit bigger. It's one of the reasons why, you know, I don't like spending a lot of time on the face in the beginning, because you can, it could be a bit of a it can be a bit of a trap for you, because honestly the the face doesn't really say that much about the character or the figure as does the you know, what they're doing with their body. You know, that's the part that really communicates like what's happening. It's not the face, despite what you think. It's what they're doing with their body. The face, you know, does like lend a humanity to it, of course, you know, in terms of like emotion and like context. But the truth is, what we really lock onto. I'm sorry. What we read first. Sorry, what we read first is what's happening with what they're communicating with their body, with their body language. Okay, let me change this, because I think Chun Li has these very like kind of like Vulcan like eyebrows. Okay. All right. Try to keep her young. So some cheeks in there. Okay. Okay. All right. So there's our face. Okay. contrast here. Okay, maybe I'll clean up the rest later. This like I said, this part is, I did you guys a favor by putting that in there. I really shouldn't do that so early in the game. Okay, so what's happening like with Chun Li's legs? Okay, this is the thing that that everyone seems to like the most about the character, you know, or they you know, when they are what they find appealing, you know, about this character. Okay, so generally speaking, okay, to understand the legs, you know, it's also better. It's also a good idea to understand like some of the anatomy that it's connecting to, that it's fitting into, right? And one important landmark I always talk about in a lot of my demos is like the pelvis, right? Or like the iliac crest area, this part here, okay? So this is, you know, a major landmark for understanding like what's happening like with the torso and what have you, right? So the thing is, all right, in terms of, everyone knows like the top part is the thigh, and then, you know, the bottom part, you know, is basically you have like the calf muscle, right? You know, you have the shin and the calf muscle down there, right? You know, here's the thigh, this very large musculature part, which everyone seems to like, you know, very much, right? And then below that, you know, you have the shin, and then like the calf muscle, the gastrocnemius muscle is what the calf muscle is actually called. It's called the gastrocnemius muscle. Okay. What I'm gonna do actually. Okay, I'll start with this leg here because it's the one that's closest to me. Okay, so here on the iliac crest, okay, you have like two muscles that attach to that, and that come down. You get like this V kind of shape, okay, and the muscle that's closest to the inside of the leg is called the Satorius muscle, and that's a very long muscle that starts here and it comes all the way down, and then actually, believe it or not, it fits down into the shin bone down here, actually. Okay. You know, if you guys have your anatomy books with you, you know, take a look at your anatomy books, you know, as I'm going along. It might be helpful. Okay. On the other side, you have this muscle is coming out here, and this is called the Tensor Fascia Latae muscle. Okay, so again, like you get this V. One side is the Satorius, comes all the way down here, and then on this side you have the Tensor Fascia Latae, and that becomes a what do you call it? That turns into what's called like the iliotibial band, and that also goes way down and fits like into the top part of your shin bone here. Actually, well, not actually, I shouldn't say the shin, but like the condyle, the top part condyle of your lower leg. Okay. All right. And then behind that, you know, depending on the person, okay, you have a little bit of the gluteus muscle coming out like from behind, like that. Okay. So one of the things people have a lot of trouble with is like understanding like how like to draw like the knees and things like that. Okay, so basically, look, when you have like the the thigh here, right? If you did like, let's say like a tube or whatever, cylinder for the thigh, you have to imagine like which is cutting through that is like where like the condyles would be. The condyles meaning like those tubular kind of formations, you know, where you basically where you have like the beginning parts of like a knuckle or a joint. Okay. All right. So from here, on top of that, you have the patella, you know, which is like the kneecap, right? And then that goes all the way down into here, all right, which is again like there's there's a triangle like kneeling point of like where your at the top of your shin bone. Okay, now in terms of the lower leg, right, which is like the shin bone or the tibular bone. Okay, there are two bones here actually, believe it or not. um One bone, okay, is the big one, right, which is the tibula. Okay, there's another one right next to it, which is called the fibula bone, and that feeds all the way down into like where your ankle would be. Okay, so believe it or not, in terms of excuse me, in terms of like what attaches into what, you know, you have like part of the back of the thigh muscle like feeding into it like that. Okay, now you got to be careful, you know, when you're drawing your knees, you know, you want to keep that like a box form. Okay, at least like the knee part, like, you know, you don't want it to well, at least you want to make sure that there's a clear like turning edge to it. Okay, and that's the thing, like you don't want to lose that. Okay, so from here I'm going to try to, it's a little bit simple, but you have this coming out. You know, I'm sorry, because this darn thing is here and it's kind of in the way, and I'm not getting the kind of smooth strokes I would like right now. So I'm going to move this up a little bit. Thank you. There we go, like that. And this is coming out like that. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Now, in terms of like what else is happening here in terms of the knee. Okay, so here's what sells it for Chun Li anyway. Okay, on the you have like three muscles that all come down and attach to the kneecap, to the patella. Okay, so you have one on the outside, and that's called the vastus lateralis. Okay, you have another one in the middle. It's called the rectus femoris, and then you have another one which is called the vastus medius. And it's almost like a teardrop kind of muscle. Okay, and again, you know, behind that Satorius muscle. Okay, fitting in like that. Okay. All right. So this teardrop one is actually a little bit lower. The Vastus Latealis actually sits a little bit higher. Just a tad higher. Okay. And you got this one coming like that. Oops. Nope. Yeah, not without fault. Just gotta make sure I get this right. So the trick is to keep her looking feminine and appealing, even though she's got all this musculature going on here. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not going to draw. I'm not going to draw her boots and stuff like that, because I want you guys to be able to see what's happening essentially with you know, this architecture of her. Anatomy, you know. I'm gonna try to make that as clear as possible, so I'm not gonna put that in there. Okay. Okay, so again, patella is here. Okay. Again, all these three muscles, okay, the Vastus Latealis, the Rectus Femoris, and the Medius, they all kind of come down towards like where the patella is, and then below that you have like the kneeling point. Okay. Okay, excuse me. Oh, another note, guys. You know, when you bear in mind, you know, the calf muscle is actually sitting behind the it's sitting behind the behind the shin bone. Okay, because yeah, because you know, if you've ever like you know, hit your shin bone on the bed as you're going to the bathroom or something like that, you know, you feel how hard that is, right? So because there's no there's no muscle on that. Okay, now here's the other thing. Okay, so on this side here, okay, again, you have the Satorius muscle, and that comes down all the way down here, and then it fits into the upper part of your shin bone. Okay. You have these abductor muscles here. Believe it or not, there's a little bit of the gluteus that's peeking up from behind here, like that. And we can't really see it on this side, but again, you know, the tensor fasciae latae is on the other side. Okay. All right. And then again, if I have, let's say this is Okay, kneecap is here. Sorry, the top part of the knee is here. Kneecap is down here. All right. Sorry. Comes in like that. Okay. Now on this side, there's no sorry, you have like the larger part of the tibular bone. The fibula, the smaller one, is on the outside. Okay. Again, as I noted before. Okay. All right. You have like the Vastus Medius muscle, which comes in like this part. That is not the Satorius, all right? Satorius is next to it. Actually, maybe it's kind of coming over it, actually, if I'm correct. But you have this coming in like that, and then that feeds into the kneecap. You have the Rectus Femoris coming out like that, and then on the other side you have the Vastus Latealis, which comes out like that. So you get that, okay? Kneecap. Okay. Sure. And this comes in like. I'm sorry, I gotta have to hold the paper in a little bit of a funky way because I boxed myself in, and I did not a lot for this darn thing. Okay, here's a tip. So the ankle, inside ankle is high, outside ankle is low. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit better. Okay. Mama, it's so. But you guys get the idea, you know. Okay. Now, okay, here's the other thing, okay, guys, I'm really illustrating like what's happening with the musculature here. I don't recommend drawing all these muscles, stuff like that, when you're drawing, because unless you're a Chun Li kind of artist, no one's really interested in just like looking at muscles and anatomy, part of, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some artists who are they've made a lot of their appeal from their understanding of drawing anatomy, and I guess maybe drawing anatomy in an appealing way. And I have to say that maybe Chun Li is one of those people. But generally, the anatomy doesn't really say anything. It doesn't say anything at all in terms of what's being expressed with the body. just putting a little bit of something here. So, oops. I'm not hating on it, you know, but generally speaking, you know, you know, what the gesture is communicating is like really, it's like what it's what sells like your drawing, you know, or the figure anyway, you know, what you're trying to communicate with the figure. Collar like that, this kind of thing. I guess this comes across like that. Sorry if I'm butchering Chun Li here. I don't draw her every day, so you know, you gotta cut me a little slack. Okay. Here's the pelvic arch. This comes out, comes back in, and roughly about there. That's where you have the insertion for the navel, roughly speaking. Okay. Okay. I remember the first time. I'm not going to say my friend's name, but one of my best friends that I went to college with, and we used to play Street Fighter all the time, and I remember. I mean, this I'm talking about Street Fighter 2. Okay, so let you know how old I am. Okay, but I remember him like looking at Chun Li, and he said, "Yo, that girl, she thick." Actually, he didn't say thick. He said something else. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but you know, at the time, you know, it was. It's not a bad word. He just said like she you know, he said that she was fat, but fat as in like PHAT fat. Okay. Because of the legs, you know. So this is a little bit stiff for me. This is not my usual way of I'd like to get around to expressing the character, but I just I want to get like the general gist down for you guys. Okay. Actually, that'll do. I'm not gonna noodle that. Okay, so oops, bring this down here. Kneecap. Okay. Again, this comes in like that. Okay, this goes behind like that. I won't draw it too heavy, but essentially her that drapery that she has for her Chinese dress is roughly about here, right? Yeah, this is stiff. Stiff. But again, this is an anatomy thing here I'm doing, okay? So you can't blame me too much, okay? Yeah, don't blame me too much for that. I'm just, gosh, okay. All right. Okay, all right, so. A little bit better. Oh, I guess I should, the ribbons, right? Yeah, trying to see how I can do this. Yeah. You know what? Actually, that's what I was missing. Sorry. I want to get that right. I have it coming this way. That's a little bit better. Because that has more of a sense of movement. But I don't want to distract from anything. Darn it. All right, I see what the problem is. I'm using the wrong tool. And I think that will do. Okay, I think that's fine. Pardon me why I had to figure that out. Yeah. All right. So, actually, I kind of should have finished this a long time ago. But I get you guys get the gist, okay? not the best Chun Li in the world. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of, well, really about this. That's what I wanted to focus on, was like drawing the musculature of the legs. So anyway, my overall point for today, look, you know, if there's something that is particularly like impressive about a particular figure or some character, you know, that you want to draw, you know, it's really the best thing to do is really to understand anatomy, you know, so that way, you know, you can have the freedom to design it any way, you know, that that suits your needs or your purpose. Okay, all right, I think I'm gonna stop for today. Again, I was just doing this for fun. Well, I'm always doing this for fun, to be honest, because I like drawing. But again, you know, when you draw Chun Li's legs, okay, you know, again, you have like four major muscles, right? You have like the Satorius coming out. You have the Tensor Vastus Latealis. Okay, you're not expected to draw all this stuff, but it's helpful to know it. So you have these five muscles. The Vastus Latealis, the Rectus Femoris, and the Vastus Medius on the inside. Okay, all right, I'm gonna stop, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, all right, take care. All right, bye-bye.